But if you do put in the work, you learn all these new skills, you implement the skills, and you get better at every single facet that you need to, then you will succeed. But you can't just buy gear, go on some shoots, and think that all these inquiries are going to come in. It doesn't work that way. It's so much more of a connection based thing. It's 90, this business is 10% materials creation, photography, videography, floor plans, drone, all that stuff. 10%. 90% relationships, networking, communication, content creation, public speaking, all these other things. So if you're not interested in this 90%, you want to just take photos, I don't think this is the right thing for you. But if you're interested in trying to learn all these additional things and you want to get good at all these things and you want to do some personal development and professional development and work with these new people and get yourself into these potentially uncomfortable situations that could really help you grow and get better and better and better, then this is the business for you. And I think you can do it. Everybody can be a real estate photographer, but not everybody can run a business. Is real estate photography kind of a waste of time? Can you make any good money doing it? Yes, you can. You can make a ton of money doing real estate photography, but not if you're not willing to work. So, like with anything else, if it's worth having, my friend, it's going to take some effort and work to get there. So, you have to actually be willing to do things that maybe push you out of your comfort zone. I know I talked about this briefly in a video that I just did a couple days ago, but it's worth touching on again if you didn't see it. And even if you did, maybe it's a good reminder to get you going and actually have you work and do things to help you grow. So let's talk about a couple different options about how you can operate this real estate photography business of yours. You can buy a camera, buy a lens, buy a drone, buy everything that you need, build a website, get a logo done, and wait for all the inquiries to flow through. Maybe you take some practice shots. Maybe you build a portfolio and you go on Instagram and you post all those photos on Instagram, and then you expect all the inquiries to just come in. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. It might grow in a few years. It might, you might get a few clients contacting you because they saw your images. Very few. Real estate photography and the real estate industry in general is a very networking heavy industry to be in. Real estate, a realtor has to know people. They have to go out there. They have to knock on doors. They have to cold call to get these listing clients. They have to network with these homeowners to be able to, have these homeowners be comfortable using these realtors to represent them. So on the same token, if you're doing real estate photography and you want to have a bunch of clients, where are you going to meet them? Are you going to go after them? Are you going to go to networking events? Are you going to go into brokerages? Are you going to cold call? Are you going to go into open houses? What about brokers tours? Ooh, scary. All these things are kind of necessary. So you can make $100,000 in your first year doing real estate photography. You can. It's honestly not that much money. Here I am sounding like an asshole talking to you like, oh, $100,000 a year isn't a ton of money. It's life-changing. It certainly changed my life. But here's the main thing. It takes work to get there. My first year doing real estate photography, I earned $110,000. Crazy. I had never made more than $2,500 in a single month before doing that. But here's the thing. All the things that I learned in my life, all the things that I wasn't comfortable doing and I wanted to go out there, I was 24 when I started this real estate photography business. My son had just been born. So my motivation was, I have a child now. I need to give my child a better life than I had. I want to be able to buy things for my children. I want to send them to college. I want to buy them the cars that they want, all this stuff. I want to spoil my kids. I don't care what you think. I'm going to spoil my kids. I wasn't spoiled, so I'm going to spoil mine. And it's okay. That's what I want to do. And real estate photography let me do that. So this is the scenario of where I was. My wife was pregnant. Or my fiance at the time, we weren't married yet. Ooh, scandalous. My fiance was pregnant. And when she was, 5 months pregnant, we got married. So this was March of 2020. And she moved in with me and my mom and my brother. We all lived in the same house together. And my mom has a semi bigger house. It's like 2,000 square feet, 2 stories. We built the second story in like 2001 when, it cost 4 nickels to do it. So we had this space and we were all living there. And then my son was born in June of 2020. And then so I had been kind of dabbling in business before. I had a marketing and web design company. Well, I shouldn't put quotations because I did. It was just very small time. But prior to that, I did IT with a friend of mine, and we had some clients and we had some success. Not anything crazy, certainly wasn't thousands of dollars every single month, but we were going on projects and we were helping mainly elderly people navigate the IT world. So I got a little bit of taste of business. And then I got a job at a marketing and web design company, funnily enough, one street over, and they were a nightmare. I won't tell you who they were, but oh my God, they are 2 years older than me. They were a husband and wife owner, and they were psychopaths. Anyways, just crazy. I learned so much from there, and I was really good at the job. And I was really it was kind of sad when I had to eventually quit to get away from these crazy people. But I learned a ton and I was really good at the job, and it was very business forward. So then I took what I learned from that and then I did it for my own marketing and web design company, and I got a few clients. I got someone to pay me $1,500 a month to build their website, manage it. And then I got someone to pay me $300, and then I did a $7,500 website, and then I got another $1,000. So all these things that I learned was how to communicate effectively with people, how to walk into businesses and pitch them my services, how to, if somebody's interested in the services, how to build a small presentation or talk to these people about the projects that they have. All of these things trickled down that I learned throughout, the years of existing and trying to be a successful business owner. I learned. And then when I got into real estate photography by happenstance, my business partner's mom, my previous business partner's mom, was a realtor, and she was like, "Hey, Jordan, your whole family does photography. Why don't you give it a shot?" Because my real estate photographer just retired. I was like, "Yeah, sure. Heck, let's give it a shot." I never even thought of real estate photography as a potential business plan or business option for me, but I jumped headfirst into it. And then I took all these things that I learned, how to talk to people, how to walk into businesses, how to put myself out there and do uncomfortable things. I took all that and I put it into real estate photography. So photographers in general are semi-broke people. They love the art of it. They take portraits, they do weddings, and it's beautiful. And a lot of photographers are kind of narcissistic, kind of arrogant, kind of hard to work with. That's why you might not get success too. If you start getting a big head, people aren't going to work with you. Lord knows realtors don't like people like that as well. So I try and be a little bit more down to earth. But all these things that I learned, the most important things are how to speak to people, how to be friendly, how to talk to people, how to, accurately convey information. So I was another really, really important facet is good phone skills and just good interpersonal communications. But in the beginning, when you aren't an expert in real estate photography and you don't know what you're talking about, it can be kind of hard and intimidating to come across as knowing what you know, because you don't know what you don't know yet. But as you get better, it's easier to answer questions. It's easier to be confident in your skills. It's easier to do these, public speaking presentations at brokerages because you've been doing it. I've been doing it for 4 years. I know what I'm doing. Nothing can surprise me except a new 16 to 35 millimeter G Master and how much better it can be than, the other lens. But I talked about that in the previous video, so I won't bore you again with it. Very little can surprise me. So I can get in front of you and I can talk to this lens about all the stuff that I know because I've been through it. I know what I'm talking about. It's familiar to me. I don't need a script telling me what to talk about. But all these things play into this. So if you're starting a business from scratch and you don't have all these other things that you tried to do in order to link up and then implement into your real estate photography business, then you might need a coach. And I do coaching. If you're interested in that, button below, whatever. The main thing that you have to understand is it's going to be some uncomfortable things. So I touched on phone skills as another really, really important facet. I was horrible on the phone. Great on the phone if it was in a non-professional setting and I could talk your ear off about anything that interested me. But when it came to professional settings, because I built my website first before I even had a camera, I was like, okay, I'm going to do real estate photography. Let's just build the website because I already knew how to do it. I build websites. I know how to do it super fast, get it done in a day, whatever. But what would happen was when people started reaching out to me through my website, because I know how to do search engine optimization, which is another really important thing that you should learn. Learn how to optimize your website and your online presence so people can find you. If they can't find you, you don't exist. Sorry. Learn how to do it. When people would fill out an inquiry, they already told me that they were interested in my services, but then now I had to call them because I wanted to call them because I didn't want to just send them an email be like, hey, confirming this. It's like they want to talk to you. Or I would receive a call from someone who's interested in the services. So I am forced to have a conversation with these people on the phone. I was terrified. And you know how when you get really, nervous in these situations and your head gets all hot, maybe this is just me with extreme anxiety and ADHD, your head gets all hot, you talk too long and then you forget to swallow your spit. So then you choke on what you're saying and then you take a really awkward pause and then you continue what you're saying and your voice is kind of shaky, your hands are shaking with the phone. That was me. That was me like crazy, man. And the only thing that helped me get better was doing it more and going on shoots to where I was more comfortable with what I knew how to do. I was more comfortable with being able to provide all these services and be able to answer questions when they came up. That's the only thing that's going to happen is the exposure therapy. Is if you're scared of something, maybe give it a try. It might not be as scary as you might think. Even, all these skills, even talking to this camera. So I first started trying to do YouTube, I think it was 2016. And if I can find the videos, I'll do a brief cut and then you can see what that looked like.
So tell me about yourself. Start with your name.
My name is Jordan. I run a unsuccessful and unoriginal YouTube channel. I just started and I've run out of ideas.
And I'm assuming you're single based off how you look.
I'm guessing you were bullied in high school? No, yeah. High school was actually the glory days. I was so popular in high school, and look at me now, man. What have I become?
I wasn't that good. You know what I mean? Like, this is a learned skill of being able to talk to people and doing public speaking presentations. It's the same thing as talking to a lens, because when you're out in front of 15 people, it's not the same as talking to one person one-on-one. It's a lot scarier, but the content creation and public speaking really jives together. So if you want to get good at one, practice the other and it'll mesh. If you want to create content and you want to do public speaking, they do interchange quite easily. It's just replace the lens with 15 people and you're good. But it's the same kind of general idea. But anyways, that was kind of a long tangent to get to what I wanted to talk about. Was if you want to build this as a business, not being a broke photographer, but an actual business, you're going to have to learn all the ancillary skills, the talking to people, the learning search engine optimization. You're going to have to wear all of these different hats to make sure that your business can thrive and continue to grow, or even just get started in the first place. But if you buy a camera and a lens and a tripod and you go on a couple shoots and you have a full-time job that you're doing, then maybe you spend 30 minutes a day making some spreadsheets, getting your pricing, building your website, maybe posting some crappy stuff to Instagram, but you don't reach out to anybody. You're not going on, brokers tours. You're not going into brokerage offices. You're not going to open houses to network with these people. You're not going to get anywhere, and you can't be surprised that you're not getting anywhere. It's just not going to happen for you. So if you want this, if you really, really want this, you're going to have to do uncomfortable things. And if you need a coach to point you in the direction and help you learn how to do this stuff, I might be your guy. That's all I'll say about that. Link below if you're interested. You don't have to do it. But if you want to take this seriously, you're going to have to learn new skills. And it's not going to be enough to just get really good at photography and videography and 360 tours and 2D floor plans. You can be the best at that stuff. If you don't know all these other skills, you're not going to get anywhere. I'm sorry. You just you might eventually in 5 years from now. But what happens if you're working at this job that you absolutely hate and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to, like, I worked in car sales. So I didn't actually sell cars. I was the finance manager. So the people that have you write that whole long contract and do all the signatures, that was me in the box is what they say. But I was like, man, I can't do this anymore. And now 4 years later, I can't imagine having to work for someone else. Are you kidding me? I would have to have a boss again. No, thanks. Not interested. So I'm going to do anything and everything that I need to do, learn any new skill that I need to in order to keep growing this business, to be able to be a good boss for other people, because I have employees. So then I have to be, the good one that I need to not be everything that I hated when I was an employee. This is a process. This is going to take some time. You're going to have to learn new skills. But if you do put in the work, you learn all these new skills, you implement the skills, and you get better at every single facet that you need to, then you will succeed. But you can't just buy gear. go on some shoots and think that all these inquiries are going to come in. It doesn't work that way. It's so much more of a connection based thing. It's 90. This business is 10% materials creation, photography, videography, floor plans, drone, all that stuff. 10%, 90% relationships, networking, communication, content creation, public speaking, all these other things. So if you're not interested in this 90%, you want to just take photos, I don't think this is the right thing for you. But if you're interested in trying to learn all these additional things and you want to get good at all these things and you want to do some personal development and professional development and work with these new people and get yourself into these potentially uncomfortable situations that could really help you grow and get better and better and better, then this is the business for you. And I think you can do it. Everybody can be a real estate photographer, but not everybody can run a business. If you need help, click the link down below or whatever. All right, like this video, shoot me a comment. I'm gonna go home and go to bed. Goodbye.